Two Americas is a catchphrase referring to social stratification in American society, made famous in a 2004 speech by former U.S. Senator and former presidential candidate John Edwards. Originally referring to haves and have-nots, the speech has since become popular and inspired many parodies and similar metaphors. Background: although not necessarily the most prominent issue for other candidates in the seasons in which he campaigned for president, poverty has typically been a mainstay of liberal politics and a major focus for Edwards' campaign efforts. Edwards has since expanded the metaphor further. For instance, in a guest blog entry in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. The following are excerpts from a speech given by Senator John Edwards as Democratic vice presidential nominee to the 2004 Democratic National Convention on 28 July 2004. Based on the idea of two Americas. For the complete transcript, see. I have spent my life fighting for the kind of people I grew up with. For 2 decades, I stood with kids and families against big HMOs and big insurance companies. When I got to the Senate, I fought those same fights against the Washington lobbyists and for causes like the Patients' Bill of Rights. I stand here tonight ready to work with you and John Kerry to make America stronger. And we have much work to do. Because the truth is, we still live in a country where there are two different Americas. Applause. 1. For all of those people who have lived the American dream and don't have to worry. And another for most Americans. Everybody else who struggle to make ends meet every single day. It doesn't have to be that way. Quote, we can build one America where we no longer have two healthcare systems. One for families who get the best health care money can buy. And then one for everybody else rationed out by insurance companies, drug companies, HMOs. Millions of Americans have no health coverage at all. It doesn't have to be that way. We have a plan. Quote, we shouldn't have two public school systems in this country. One for the most affluent communities, and one for everybody else. None of us believe that the quality of a child's education should be controlled by where they live, or the affluence of the community they live in. It doesn't have to be that way. We can build one school system that works for all our kids, gives them a chance to do what they're capable of doing. Quote, John Kerry and I believe that we shouldn't have two different economies in America. One for people who are set for life. They know their kids and the grandkids are going to be just fine. And then one for most Americans. People who live paycheck to paycheck. Quote, so let me give you some specifics. First, we can create good-paying jobs in this country again. We're going to get rid of tax cuts for companies who are outsourcing your jobs. Applause. And, instead, we're going to give tax breaks to American companies that are keeping jobs right here in America. Quote, well, let me tell you how we're going to pay for it. And I want to be very clear about this. We are going to keep and protect the tax cuts for 98% of Americans, 98%. We're going to roll back the tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans. And we're going to close corporate loopholes. Quote, other applications. Edwards later revisited the two Americas theme frequently in his 2008 presidential election campaign. See also, poverty in the United States. The Other America. Cross of Gold speech. I have a dream. Read my lips. No new taxes. One nation conservatism. The original speech from the 2004 Democratic National Convention. A stump speech using the metaphor. A 2007 campaign ad explaining the two Americas concept.